The room went dead quiet when my uncle finally spoke. He had been staring at my son all evening, his eyes locked on my boy like he was looking at a ghost. Then he stood up, pointed at my child, and said, "That boy, he is not who you think he is." My whole family gasped. My son squeezed my hand, and I felt my heart drop, so hard it felt like the floor vanished beneath me. Before I could speak, my uncle added one more sentence, low, sharp, and full of poison, and that was the moment I knew this family reunion was about to destroy everything I had spent years protecting. Stay with this story until the end because every truth has a price. Like, subscribe, and follow. What comes next will shock you. Now let me tell you how we ever got to that moment. I am a mother. A quiet one. The kind who watches more than she talks. My name is Rachel Morgan, and for most of my life, my family thought I was weak. I was the youngest sister. The one who got pregnant early. The one who married a man they did not like. The one they whispered about when they thought I could not hear. But what they never understood was this. I remember everything. The reunion was supposed to be a happy thing. A big summer weekend at my grandmother's old house in Vermont. White porch. Tall trees. Long wooden table in the backyard. It was the first time we were all together in 5 years. I almost did not go. My son, Noah, was 10 years old then. Soft-spoken. Bright eyes. Kind in a way that made people pause when they looked at him. He hated crowds. He hated noise. And I hated my family. But my mother begged me. "Please, Rachel," she said on the phone. "Just come for one weekend. For me." So I packed our bags. I told myself it would be fine. I told myself I was stronger now. That was my first mistake. The moment we arrived, I felt it, that heavy feeling, like being watched. The house smelled the same as always, old wood, coffee, and lemon cleaner. Laughter filled the rooms. People hugged. People smiled. And then there was my uncle, Uncle Daniel. He was my mother's older brother. Tall, thin, sharp eyes. He had always scared me when I was younger. Not because he yelled or hit anyone, but because he watched. When I was a child, he used to look at me like he was solving a puzzle. Like he knew things I didn't. I had not seen him in years. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then I noticed something. Uncle Daniel was not watching me. He was watching my son. Every time Noah moved, Uncle Daniel's eyes followed. When Noah laughed, Uncle Daniel stiffened. When Noah spoke, Uncle Daniel leaned closer. I pulled my son closer to me. "Stay near me," I whispered. "Okay, Mom," Noah said. Dinner came. Long table. Plates clinking. People talking over each other. I tried to relax. That was when Uncle Daniel spoke to me for the first time. "How old is he?" he asked, nodding toward Noah. 10, I said. He smiled, but it did not reach his eyes. "And his father?" he asked. The table went quiet for just a second. "He passed away," I said. "A lie, but a necessary one." Uncle Daniel nodded slowly. "I see," he said. Then he went silent again. The rest of the evening felt stretched thin, like a rope ready to snap. Later that night, Noah couldn't sleep. "Mom," he whispered, "that man keeps looking at me." My chest tightened. "I know," I said, brushing his hair. "You're safe. I promise." But even as I said it, I was not sure. The next morning, things got worse. We were outside, setting up for lunch. Kids ran around. Adults drank coffee. Noah was drawing with chalk on the driveway. I looked up and there he was. Uncle Daniel, standing over my son. Too close. "What are you drawing?" he asked. Noah froze. "A tree," he said softly. Uncle Daniel crouched down. "You draw like someone I knew," he said. I rushed forward. "Leave him alone," I snapped. Uncle Daniel stood slowly. "I was just talking," he said calmly, but his eyes stayed on my son. That afternoon, my cousin pulled me aside. "Rachel," she whispered, "has Uncle Daniel said anything strange to you?" My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. She hesitated. "He's been asking questions," she said. "About Noah. About when you left town years ago." I felt heat rush to my face. That night, I barely ate. I watched Uncle Daniel instead. Every move, every glance. I remembered things I had buried. Late nights, locked doors, promises made in fear. I had sworn I would never let the past touch my child. The reunion dinner was the final event. Everyone gathered inside. Candles lit. Plates passed. Noah sat beside me, his leg pressed against mine. Uncle Daniel sat across the table. He didn't eat. He just stared. Then, halfway through dessert, he pushed his chair back. "I have something to say," he announced. Laughter faded. Forks stopped moving. He looked straight at my son. That was when he said it. That was when my whole family gasped. And before I could stop him, before I could shield my child, Uncle Daniel opened his mouth again and revealed something that threatened to expose a secret I had killed my old life to protect. The moment Uncle Daniel spoke those words, I felt the blood drain from my face. People started talking all at once. "What do you mean?" "Daniel, stop it." "Rachel, what is he saying?" I didn't answer anyone. I stood up so fast my chair fell backward with a loud bang. "Sit down," I said to my uncle, my voice shaking but loud. "You are not doing this here." Uncle Daniel didn't blink. "You don't get to decide that," he replied calmly. "Not anymore." Noah looked up at me, confused and scared. "Mom," he whispered. I pulled him into my chest and wrapped my arms around him. "Everything is fine," I said quickly. "I promise." But I knew it wasn't. My mother stood up next. "Daniel," she said sharply, "if this is some kind of joke, it's not funny." He finally looked away from my son and faced the table. "This is not a joke," he said. "That boy carries a truth this family buried a long time ago." My legs felt weak. I remembered another table, another night, another secret. "Stop," I said again. "You don't know what you're talking about." He smiled. "That's where you're wrong," he said. "I know exactly what I'm talking about." My husband, Noah's father, stood up then. Mark. The man everyone believed was dead. He wasn't supposed to be here. But there he was, sitting at the far end of the table, eyes wide, face pale. I had begged him not to come, begged him to stay away. But he said we needed closure. Now this was the result. "Daniel," Mark said slowly, "this is not your place." Uncle Daniel turned to him. "Ah," he said. "You finally show your face." The room exploded with noise again. "Who is that?" "I thought he died." "Rachel, what is going on?" My mother looked like she was about to faint. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." I grabbed Noah's hand. "We're leaving," I said. Uncle Daniel laughed softly. "You can't run anymore," he said. "Not with everyone watching." We pushed past chairs and bodies. But before we reached the door, Uncle Daniel's voice followed us. "That child," he said loudly, "was never meant to exist." I stopped. My heart pounded. I turned slowly. "What did you just say?" I asked. He took a step forward. "You heard me," he said. "And deep down you know it's true." I wanted to scream. I wanted to attack him. But instead I did something else. I smiled. Because this was the moment I had feared for years. And it was also the moment I had prepared for. We left the house that night. Noah cried in the car. "Mom, did I do something wrong?" he asked. "No," I said, gripping the steering wheel. "Never." "But why does he hate me?" he asked. I swallowed hard. "He doesn't hate you," I said. "He's afraid." That part was true. Back at the hotel, I tucked Noah into bed. "Promise me something," I said softly. "What?" he asked. "No matter what anyone says, you stay close to me," I said. "Always." He nodded. After he fell asleep, Mark sat across from me. "He knows," Mark said quietly. "Yes," I replied. "And if he knows," Mark continued, "others will too." I leaned back and closed my eyes. "We knew this day might come," I said. "I just hoped it wouldn't be like this." The next morning, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Missed calls, messages, questions. My mother begged me to come back. "Please," she wrote. "Daniel says he is proof." That word hit me like a punch. Proof. I remembered the files, the documents, the thing I thought I had destroyed. My hands started shaking. We went back that afternoon. Not because I wanted to, but because running was no longer an option. The family was gathered again. Uncle Daniel stood near the fireplace, holding a folder. He looked pleased. "I told you she'd come," he said. I walked straight toward him. "You want attention?" I said. "You have it. Now say what you want to say." He opened the folder. Inside were papers. Old ones. Medical forms. Names. Dates. My name. Noah's name. And one other name I had not heard spoken aloud in years. He held them up for everyone to see. "This," Uncle Daniel said, "is where the truth begins." My mother screamed. Mark stepped forward. And before I could stop him, Uncle Daniel dropped the final bomb of the day, one sentence that turned my family against me in an instant and forced me to make a decision that would change everything forever. The room went silent after Uncle Daniel's last sentence. No one moved. No one breathed. My mother's hands shook as she held onto the chair. My cousins stared at me like they were seeing a stranger. And Noah stood frozen beside me, his small fingers locked tight around mine. Uncle Daniel straightened the papers and spoke slowly, like a teacher explaining something simple. "Rachel didn't just leave town years ago," he said. "She ran. And she ran because of what she did." "That's a lie," I said. But my voice sounded thin, even to me. He ignored me. "These documents," he continued, "show that Noah was born under a different identity. A sealed birth. Changed names. Missing records." My aunt covered her mouth. "That's illegal," someone whispered. Uncle Daniel nodded. "Exactly." My heart beat so loud I thought everyone could hear it. I bent down and whispered to Noah, "Go sit by the stairs. Do not move. Do not talk." "Mom," he began. "Please," I said. He obeyed. That hurt the most. Uncle Daniel looked pleased. "She planned everything," he said. "She erased a man. She erased a past." Mark stepped forward. "This is between you and me," he said. "Leave the child out of it." Uncle Daniel laughed. "You don't get to make rules anymore," he said. "You lost that right the day you helped her lie." The room erupted. "You helped her? So he's not dead? What did you do, Rachel?" I raised my hands. "Enough," I said. They quieted, but not because they respected me. Because they were hungry. Hungry for the truth. "You want answers?" I said. "Fine. But you don't get them from him." I pointed at Uncle Daniel. "You get them from me." I took a deep breath. "I left because I had to," I said. "Because someone in this family hurt me. And when I asked for help, no one listened." Uncle Daniel's smile faded. "That's not why," he said. "It is," I replied. "And you know it." Murmurs spread through the room. My mother looked between us. "Daniel," she said slowly, "what is she talking about?" He stiffened. "Don't change the story," he snapped. "She's trying to distract you." But I saw it then. Fear. Real fear. "You watched me," I said. "When I was young. You asked questions you shouldn't have asked. You stood too close." Gasps filled the room. "That's disgusting," my cousin said. Uncle Daniel slammed the folder shut. "Lies," he barked. "Then why do you care so much about my son?" I asked. "Why stare at him like he belongs to you?" Silence. I stepped closer. "You recognized him," I said. "Not because of the papers, but because of his face." Uncle Daniel's jaw tightened. "You don't know what you're saying," he muttered. "Oh, I do," I said. "Because years ago, I made a deal with myself. I promised I would never let you near my child." My mother shook her head. "Rachel," she whispered. "What are you saying?" I turned to her. "I'm saying Noah exists because I survived," I said. "And because I refuse to let this family decide my worth." Uncle Daniel raised the folder again. "You can cry all you want," he said. "The law doesn't care about feelings." I smiled. That confused him. "You think those papers protect you?" I asked. He hesitated. "You think I didn't keep copies?" I continued. "You think I didn't prepare for this?" Mark stepped beside me. She knows everything, he said, including what you did after she left. Uncle Daniel's face turned pale. What are you talking about? He demanded. I reached into my bag. My hand closed around something small. Cold. Solid. I pulled it out and held it up. A flash drive. This, I said, is why you're really scared. The room erupted again. What is that? What's on it? Daniel? Uncle Daniel took a step back. You don't know what you have, he said. I do, I replied. And so will everyone else. Before anyone could stop me, before anyone could speak, I turned toward the television on the wall and pressed play, unleashing a truth so dark and undeniable that it shattered what little power Uncle Daniel had left and put my family on the edge of a reckoning they were not ready to face. The video started playing, and the room fell into a silence, so deep it felt heavy. At first, it was just a dark screen. Then a voice came on. Uncle Daniel's voice.
Clear. Calm.
Careless. I told you no one will believe her, the voice said. My mother covered her mouth. The video showed a room I remembered too well.
Small.
Windowless. Old carpet. I felt my stomach twist. On the screen, Uncle Daniel sat across from a man I did not recognize. You just need to move the files, Uncle Daniel said in the video. Change the names. Seal the record. The man nodded. It will cost more, he said. I don't care, Uncle Daniel replied. That child cannot be traced back to this family. Gasps filled the room. My aunt started crying. That's fake, Uncle Daniel shouted. It's edited, but the video kept going. Rachel is weak, the voice continued. She'll leave. She always does. My hands shook, but I stood still. I remembered that night. How I hid in the hallway. How I heard everything. The screen went black. No one spoke. Then my mother whispered, Daniel, what did you do? Uncle Daniel's face twisted. You don't understand, he said loudly. I was protecting this family. By hurting me? I asked quietly. He turned toward me. You should have stayed quiet, he snapped. Like you always did. Something broke inside me then. I stepped forward. No, I said. I stayed quiet to survive. This time, I'm speaking to end it. Mark reached for my hand. You told me you destroyed that video, he whispered. I lied, I said softly. I kept it safe. Uncle Daniel laughed, sharp and wild. You think that's enough? He said. You think one video erases everything? He turned to the family. She's still a criminal, he shouted. She changed records. She ran. She lied. Yes, I said. To protect my child. My mother sank into a chair. You knew, she said to Uncle Daniel. You knew she was hurting. He didn't answer her. Instead, he looked at Noah. And smiled. That smile chilled me. You can ruin me, he said calmly. But you can't undo what I started. What does that mean? I demanded. Before he could answer, there was a knock at the door. Hard. Sharp. Official. Everyone turned. 2 police officers stepped inside. Daniel Harris? One of them asked. Uncle Daniel froze. Yes, he said slowly. We need you to come with us, the officer said. We have questions regarding falsified documents and obstruction. My family gasped again. They moved toward him. This isn't over, Uncle Daniel said, locking eyes with me. You think you've won? As they led him away, he leaned close and whispered something only I could hear. He's not safe, he said. Not yet. My blood ran cold. What did you do? I screamed after him. He only smiled as the door closed behind him. I rushed to Noah and pulled him into my arms. Mom, he whispered. What did he mean? I didn't answer, because at that exact moment, my phone buzzed in my pocket. One message. From an unknown number. It contained a photo. A photo of my son taken just minutes ago outside the house. My hands shook as I stared at the photo.
Noah.
Standing by the maple tree near the driveway. Looking confused. Looking alone. The message under the photo had only 4 words. You're too late. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I did something better. I thought. Rachel, my mother asked, panic rising. What is it? I locked my phone and looked up. Call the police, I said calmly. Tell them my son may be in danger. They already took Daniel, my cousin said. Who else could? Daniel never works alone, I said. He never has. Mark was already moving. I'll check outside, he said. No, I snapped.
He wants panic.
We won't give it to him. Everyone stared at me. This was the first time my family saw me clearly. Not scared. Not broken. Not weak. I walked to the front door and opened it slowly. The driveway was empty. Then I saw it. A car parked across the street. Engine running. Windows dark. My heart pounded, but my face stayed calm. I raised my phone and dialed a number I had saved years ago and prayed I would never need. Now, I said into the phone. It's happening now. The car door opened. A man stepped out.
Tall.
Nervous. Looking around. He reached for the back door of the car. Rachel, my mother screamed. I stepped off the porch. Don't, I said loudly. The man froze. Police sirens filled the air.
Fast. Close.
The man panicked and ran. Straight into the arms of two officers coming from the side street. They slammed him to the ground. In seconds, it was over. An officer opened the back door of the car. Ma'am, he called out. We have a child. I ran. Noah jumped into my arms. I was scared, he sobbed. But I remembered what you said. I stayed calm. I held him so tight my arms hurt. You did perfect, I whispered. You did perfect. The man was arrested on the spot. He didn't last long. He told them everything. Uncle Daniel had planned it. The staring, the reunion, the papers. All of it was meant to scare me into silence. He thought I would choose fear. He was wrong. Days later, the truth spread through the family. The video, the forged records, the threats. Uncle Daniel was charged. The man who tried to take my son was charged. And the sealed records? They were reopened. Legally.
Cleanly. Publicly.
My family apologized. Some cried. Some stayed quiet. It didn't matter. I didn't need their approval anymore. Weeks later, Noah and I sat on a beach far from that house. He built a sandcastle. I watched the waves. Mom, he said, are we safe now? I smiled. Yes, I said, because I told the truth. He nodded, then smiled back. That night, I sent one final message to a number that would never reply. You tried to erase me. Instead, you exposed yourself. A mother who protects her child never loses. And that was the end of it. Not because I got revenge with anger, but because I won with truth. And that is the kind of revenge that lasts forever.